How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. Former Vikings GM Rick Spielman, some high praise for the junior Buckeye wideout, not Marvin Harrison Jr., but Emeka Egbuka. Being compared to Jamar Chase by the former GM. Egbuka, a man that had 1,151 receiving yards last season, 10 touchdowns, had a very good season. And once again, Ohio State is what seems like just producing NFL talent wideouts just left and right. Year in and year out now at this point. You got him playing alongside Harrison. You got a guy that, do we compare him to Jamar Chase? Is Jamar Chase the cop? This is a guy you watch him play. I think what you see him do, the best of the best, is working the middle of the field, having the awareness, the burst, the acceleration to get out of his breaks, get separation between from the guy in coverage, and also having the awareness and understanding, where to sit down in those zones, where to find the holes in the middle of the field underneath that safety. We also see him get a lot of action in the short game. The one-time kick returner, punt returner here for the Ohio State Buckeyes that did really good, getting him more opportunities in the screen game and a short pass game to make some plays, make some guys miss. So we know he excels there. We know he excels in the middle of the field. We've seen him play top defenses, Georgia, Michigan, and slice and dice them both respectively for over 100 receiving yards in those football games. So we know he's got the ability to do it against some of the best other guys that you can expect to see in the NFL in the future here. The one thing I think you watch his route running on the sidelines, how much he's used outside. We've seen it more and more later in the season where he got used a little bit more. We started to see that burst and that quickness kind of be utilized on some go routes on the outside, start to get open a little more on the outside. I think that's the one thing teams are going to really look for here. And that's the one thing you look at and you want to compare him to Jamar Chase and say, I do feel like Jamar's got a little bit more quickness and speed. We'll see. I feel like he's got a little bit more elusiveness, at least right now. I think he might have him beat there. I think you got him beat on the outside routes at the moment. But it does, again, you got to remember, this is his first full year really playing. When you sit behind a talented wide receiver corps in Ohio State, it's hard to get playing time. Even this season, if it wasn't for JSN not playing, you wonder how much he gets used. But nonetheless, now he's looking like a guy that could potentially be, by a lot of teams, respected and viewed as a top 10 overall pick this year. The Buckeyes are in a serious position here to have 2 top 10 draft picks that are wide receivers this season. Something just unheard of and ridiculous to say the very least. But, overall, I do wonder how teams view this guy. He took 18% of his snaps out of the slot last season. So by no stretch of the imagination was Ohio State using this guy as a slot guy, but it did, it was clear and noticeable he was most effective in the short game out wide or in the slot or in the middle of the field. And you wonder if teams look at it and say, are we going to move this guy to the slot or can we trust this guy as a number one? Does that affect his draft spot here? Very well could. Very, very well could. But again, we have to remember, Hartline, one of the best there is right now as far as coaching these wideouts is. But like we just said, you consider where he was to start the year, the end of the year. You did see the improvements noticeably. And this is a guy, again, you can tell. Some guys just have that ridiculously high football IQ. And you can just tell with this guy, with his abilities at the young age he is, to be able to, maneuver defensive cornerbacks by, using their momentum, their bodies to their disadvantage to create separation, to create space. His ability to read the defense, to read where the safety is, to read where the bracket coverage is. You've seen a lot of it last season to find that hole and to find a way to get open still, understanding where he needs to sit down in that area, where he needs to be. He's playing at a really high level in that regards. And you have to believe, again, he's just, the more and more he polishes his game, the more and more he becomes a complete receiver. And the more and more, he gets one more year, one more full season getting some snaps here every day. It really does. This guy thinks that him and Marvin can be better than Jamar and Justin were. And we'll see. All right. Time will tell. That was year 1. This is year 2. We ain't seen him in the NFL yet. That's a pretty tall task, to be quite honest. Even as a Buckeyes fan, let's not be crazy. We'll see what happens when it happens. But I definitely think they're better than Olave and Garrett Wilson were for Ohio State. We'll see, though. I'm pretty excited about this young man, though. Love your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.